rounds out triple-figure temperatures in game number 3. From Arlington, the Sox trying to salvage a win in this final game after Texas took the first 2. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. Not only did Texas take the first 2 games, but double-figure outputs in the run column in both.
The Sox are going to win today. They've got to shut down this offense, which is in high gear. And lately, even though they're in last place, they're hitting everything in sight. So take a look at what this series has looked like. 24 runs on 25 hits. Look at the batting average at .338. Average with runners in scoring position, which is essential if you're going to win games, at .350. So the Sox behind Reynaldo Lopez going to have to shut him down today.
One of the bright spots in this series has been Matt Davidson, who famously pitched a couple of nights ago. He had 3 hits yesterday.
Little comic relief with him pitching, but it was no joke yesterday as he hit the ball out of the ballpark again, and Matt Davidson is starting to heat it up. But first, in a blowout, he goes to the mound and actually looked like a pitcher. We know he's a defender, and he made a good play there, even surprised himself. And then a breaking ball to end it, and getting some accolades from his teammates. And last night, taking it down the line. This rattled around for a while, and he coasts into second base. But he saved the best for later in the game as he took one out of the ballpark, hit it here to right center field, and it's going out. And Matt Davidson is swinging the bat well, which is nice since coming back from his back injury. Now he looks like he did before.
Guy on the mound today for the Sox, Reynaldo Lopez, was tremendous against the Rangers last time he saw him.
He threw a lot of fastballs, and he threw it by him. He also threw some straight changes, something he's forgotten about lately. And Reynaldo, when he's right, is really good. He's going to have to be good today because the last 3 games, the bullpen has been used and abused. Last time he saw these Rangers, he just buzzed through the lineup. That was Choo in the 8th inning. What a spectacular performance by Lopez. He's going against Cole Hamels, and the last 3 home starts have not been good. In fact, he can't win here in Texas. That bodes well. We talked about Lopez the last time out against Minnesota. He was okay. Wasn't great, but good enough. And hopefully today more of the same. He's got to take the game into the 7th, perhaps the 8th inning, and rest that beleaguered bullpen.
Certainly does. Sox and Rangers game number 3 is on the horizon from here in Arlington. Homers galore in this series. A lot of power. We'll see if Lopez can shut her down after this.
NBC Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Toyota. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. By Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Miller Lite, hold true.
Deep in the heart of Texas for one more day before a trip to Ohio tomorrow for 3 with the Cincinnati Reds. And it's time to stave off a sweep at the hands of the former Washington Senators, the Texas Rangers. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. He's Steve Stone. I'm Jason Benetti, and you are looking at some umpires and some staff members baking out there. Day baseball as the Sox will take their swings against Cole Hamels, who evidently would rather pitch anywhere but here at Globe Life Park, because look at these numbers: 514 at home, 205 on the road.
Sometimes you can't explain when you have splits like that. There's no reason to throw like this at home, except maybe he doesn't like the warm weather, except that the warm weather has only come about the last 2 or 3 weeks. So for whatever reason, he's really scuffled here. On the road, he's been very good. You can see opponent's batting average at 203, so everything works very well away from Arlington for Cole Hamels, and it could very well be by the trade deadline. That's where he will find himself.
Tell you about the White Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by the Webb Auto Group. The best lineup of Chevys, Fords, Mitsubishis, Genesis, and Hyundais at the best price. Go to webcars.com. Sox have struggled against lefty pitching this year, but not Tim Anderson. He's at the top. Then Abreu 3 has been very good against left-handers as well. The switch hitters moved down to 7 and 8, Moncada and Sanchez.
Defensive setup for the Rangers presented by UI Health, and this is how Jeff Bannister is going to put them out there this afternoon. It's Rua, DeShields, and Mazzari in the outfield left to right, with Profar, Andrus, Odor, and Gallo in the infield. Isaiah Kiner Falefa behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher is Cole Hamels. We told you about his strange splits. He's going to the mound in search of his 5th win. Sox are hoping it's his 7th loss. His ERA respectable at .361. As you can see, doesn't walk many people. Strikes out a lot of them. So he has allowed 20 home runs. When you're around the plate a lot and you're not overwhelming with that fastball, you're going to have the ball hit out of the ballpark. Umpires for the game this afternoon: Mark Ripperger has the plate, Doug Eddings is at first base, Marty Foster at second, and the crew chief, Joe West, is at third base this afternoon. Ricky Renteria trying to figure out a way to get his starting pitcher to go deep in the ball game. He's got the right guy on the mound, as Ronaldo Lopez usually goes deep in the game. He's going to need to today. 3 outings in a row. The bullpen has been used and it's been abused. So hopefully today the starting pitching picks it up. So we're ready to play baseball on this broiling hot afternoon. I'm ready to turn it over to my equally hot broadcast partner, Jason Benetti.
Thank you, Steve. We're ready to go. Cole Hamels, Tim Anderson. Ball 1. Off we head in Arlington for game number 3 of 3. To the winner goes this season series. It's even at 3 so far after the Sox won 3 of 4 at Guaranteed Rate Field. Cole Hamels, who for this season has actually seen left-handers hit him better than right-handers, but for his career has regulation splits. Sox have 3 lefties on the bench today as Hamels misfires with the 1-1. Sox are at .241 team batting average. That's 18th in baseball. The slugging percentage better than the on-base percentage in terms of ranking in the majors. This is a foul ball. Cole Hamels features a bunch of different types of fastballs. He'll go cutter mostly, then 4-seam fastball. The sinker mixes in there as well.
He's going to give you something to hit. Very rarely will he throw that curveball. But some type of fastball is usually the same speed, although it might vary a couple miles an hour.
Anderson whacks this ball into left field. Rua fading away from the play, gets it in quickly, so Tim has a single and his second hit of the series.
Rua did a nice job of getting the ball back in the infield because he couldn't set his feet, didn't have enough time, knowing that Anderson's always looking for a double. He threw it on the run and got it back quickly enough. This looked like a cutter on the outside part of the plate, and Tim tattoos it into left field. Nice play by Rua.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where most teams will gauge whether or not they should run for the second or third base, the extra base, based on the footing of the outfielder. And there, Rua, fading away from the play, did get it in fast. Avi takes ball number 1. A 10-game hit streak for Avisail Garcia. He's got a hit in every game that he's started since he's been back from the DL. Punch to right center field, tailing away from DeShields, and this is off the wall. Anderson's only going to get to third, as that was a missile from Avi, and the Sox are in business second and third with nobody out once again in the first inning.
We told you about Hamels' problems in this ballpark. They continue early in this one. 2 up, 2 Rockets. That's 407 where Avi hit that ball, and it almost went out of the park. You can hardly hit a line drive any harder than this. In fact, didn't have enough time to get up high enough. Karam off the wall, and a nice play by DeShields, who's really done well in center field this entire year. Rated among baseball's best defensively.
That was off Avi's bat at 111 miles an hour after the Anderson 104 to start the game. Jose takes a strike. Oh, 1. Grounded foul, third base side. 0-2. Sox had that winning homestand against Oakland and Minnesota. And then this road trip has started with 2 straight games that the Sox have fallen out of, with big numbers on the board for Texas. 0-2 from Hamels will have to wait.
Sox attacked Bartolo Colon early in last night's game, getting 2 hits in the first, but couldn't score after a single and a double to lead off the game. And then the second inning, they picked up a couple of runs, but unfortunately the onslaught by the Rangers, and it was too little too early.
0-2. And that nearly got Abreu. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that first inning is one that Ricky Renteria lamented after the game. He was critical of Yoan Moncada over at third base. On the ball to shortstop, Yoan didn't think there was going to be a play at home, and Andrews threw him out.
I think we'll probably go a good portion of the rest of our respective careers without seeing a guy from third base get thrown out by a shortstop who fields the ball in the hole. That's just kind of the way it looked from up here, and Ricky Renteria figured that out.
This will get a run home. Abreu with the RBI ground out. Anderson scores. Moncada, Garcia to third, and a 1-0 lead for the Sox here in the first inning.
Jose, the opening part of this series, did the same thing with the infield back conceding the run. He got a ground ball, and the Sox are ahead. That's 48 runs batted in for Jose.
And 1 in, 1 out for Davidson, who's playing first today. Abreu playing the DH role this afternoon, and the infield now comes in for Texas, trying to protect that second run.
There's one of those rare curveballs that Hamel throws, and he's got a good one. He just chooses not to use it all that often.
About 15% of the time is all. 0-2 on Matt.
That time he cut the ball in on the hands of Davidson and got it by him.
Garcia at third, 1 out. And that was maybe a little bit low in the estimation of the plate umpire Mark Ripperger. One two on the ground to short. Andrews playing in, throws out Davidson. 2 gone in the first.
That time the infield in paid off. Hamels got that ball and crowded Matt Davidson and hit it right at Andrews, who doesn't have the range he used to have, but he's very dependable. He's got a good and very accurate arm. But they're strong on the left side between Beltre, even though he's slowed down at 39, and Andrews. If they get to it, they will throw it on the mark and throw you out.
Yeah, Beltre gets the Veterans Clause day off today, the Sunday day game in 100-degree heat.
You can understand that after the length of last night's game and the fact that he's had all kinds of leg problems. So what you worry about with him is leg cramps, which then lead into the hamstring issues that he's had periodically throughout his career. But especially this year, he's been disabled twice.
Well, you figure at age 39 you're going to get some days off. Might as well use it after a late night game, a game that ended just after 11:30 last night. Sox have their first inning run since the Oakland series back at home, game 3 of that series. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Hamels strikes out Garcia, and we'll play bottom 1. The Sox lead 1-0. The Webb Auto Group, Shin-Soo Choo at the top once again after a day off yesterday. Mazzara has been crushing the baseball. Rua is in the 6th spot in Kiner Falepa's first start of the series.
Defensive setup for our Sox, presented by UI Health, and this is how Ricky Renteria is going to put them out there this afternoon. It's Leary, Adam, and Avisail in the outfield. Yomer, Tim, Yoan, and Matt in the infield. Kevin Smith gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience Amazing starting pitcher is Ronaldo Lopez, on for his 17th start, looking for his 4th win. His ERA, a respectable 3.73. Only given up 81 hits in 94 innings. That's good. He's not a strikeout pitcher at this point because he's throwing mostly fastballs. It's tough to square up, but you're not going to strike out a whole lot of people in the strike zone with a fastball.
Shin-Soo Choo takes ball number 1. He got the day off yesterday. He is on a number of streaks, including a 12-game hit streak. And Choo with a fair ball to first. No, foul ball. Called foul. Wide of first. 1-1 on Choo.
Matt Davidson was in fair territory, but with Doug Eddings on the line, he said it was just to the left of the bag.
So Lopez turns his attention back to Choo, who had one of the 2 hits against Lopez back at Guaranteed Rate Field. And Ronaldo in with a strike at 75. That curveball that you don't see much of.
I would like to see it a whole lot more, especially early in the count. Choo has been on base 41 straight games, which is remarkable.
In the air, center field, and playable for Adam Engel, or out number 1. Lopez was superb in the game back on May 20th against Texas. Just a couple of hits, and they did not see the curveball at all in that game.
Went 107 pitches, and he was throwing 98, 97 a lot. In fact, the last hitter he faced to get out of the 8th inning was Choo. And he threw a fastball, I remember, at 96 by him. No drop off at all. That was after Ricky Renteria went to the mound, asked him if he thought he could get him. He answered in the affirmative, and Ricky gave him the confidence to let him go, and he got him.
Fastball strike at 96 to Andrews, who's on a 5-game hit streak himself at 7 for his last 24. Well, Ricky Renteria will let the pitcher's eyes and the pitcher's emotions tell him sometimes whether or not to make the change.
Well, I like the fact that he goes to the mound without a preconceived notion at that point, and if he hears what he wants to hear, he lets him go. If not, he takes him out.
Into right field, a base hit. Andrews, a 1-out single.
Mazara has been hitting it real well lately and real well in this series. Very inviting upper deck here in Arlington. So if you get any part of it at all with the wind blowing the way it does here, you're going to hit it into the upper deck unless you hit just a vicious line drive, which usually stays in the lower deck.
Very well populated right field stands comparatively because there's no sun in the right field stands. That is a smart pair of dudes. Chief in charge of the umbrella, Mark Salas. Just for fun, added a Sox logo.
Well, I can understand where that would be a great option. Otherwise, there might be the old movie, Death in the Bullpen. On a day like today, in the upper 90s, if not triple digits, it was supposed to be 102. There is no shade at all. You can absolutely bake out there.
They're just pretending there's a pool. Throw to first, and Andrews is back. We don't know what's to come weather-wise the remainder of the season, but you figure on July 1st. About 100 degrees at game time. This is going to be the hottest game of the year for the Sox.
I would think so. But we're going to be cooled off in Cincinnati apparently because they're in a rain delay right now.
Oh, they are.
Up 3-0 over Milwaukee. That game in the top of the 6th inning. So it is an official game. But the rains continue to halt play.
Well, maybe a frontal push through and those temperatures that we were supposed to get in the 90s with humidity won't happen.
Well, right now it's the back of the front. So we'll see how that works out.
Seems to be still in question. 2-1. And Mazzara takes a rip at a ball inside. 2-2. Look, left field is the Gobi Desert today. Right field, however, is where you want to be. People in the front row getting their legs some sun. Only the shadows know today. 2-2. Runners off and a foul ball. Andrews will have to go back. You only get so many of those on a day like today. 2-strike foul balls when the runner takes off from first.
Well, he got a very good jump, and that time Ronaldo decided not to use a slide step. He decided to use the high leg kick, and that will yield some stolen bases. These Rangers have swiped 44 of them. They've been gunned down 17 times. Their catchers have not been effective. Their catchers have given up 41 stolen bases. They've only caught 8 would-be base stealers, and Andrus back in under the tag.
Well, that's one of the storylines for the game today is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the catcher, who we'll see in the top of the 2nd inning for Texas. He's batting 8th today. This is his 4th start ever at catcher.
We were told by Jeff Bannister when they were in town that they wanted to convert him to a catcher, but we thought they would do it in the offseason. As it turned out, no. They pressed him into service now.
2-2. Long hold. Andrews does not run, and that misses by a hair. 3-2.
You can pretty much be sure he's going to run here. If he ran on the 2-2 pitch, he most likely will run on a 3-2 pitch. Profar in the on deck circle.
Lopez 3-2. Andrews takes off. Ground ball to shortstop, and Tim only has one play for the out. Sanchez, that is. Sanchez in the shift for round number 2. And Andrews to second base. Here is the menu for today's ball game. What you're going to see in our telecast, we've got some video evidence of great food here in Arlington. A Reds pitcher who has a great story at the plate from a couple of years ago continues to hurt the baseball, and then we'll quiz Steve on his own career in the Lone Star State.
It was a warm start. Is that what you're going to ask? Was it warm that day?
I have to imagine. That's part of the question.
It was warm.
What exactly was the game time temperature? Will be the question, and you have to have it to a 1/10 of a degree.
I think if you say 98, you're in pretty good shape. Unless it was in April, then it was 96.
At least it's a dry heat.
There is 98. And a gentle breeze wafting ever so gently out toward right and right center.
Left field side, Garcia on the run into foul territory.
Profar's been a much better hitter right-handed, but considerably more power from the left side. This is a park dominated normally by left-hand hitters because of the wind tunnel.
And they've got some. So well-stocked left-handed cabinet for Jeff Bannister.
Nobody knows yet how the new field is going to play in 2020. But you have to take advantage of your home park, and right here Stacking it with left-handers is a good thing to do. Not that right-handers can't hit it out. Left-handers just hit it out a whole lot better and a whole lot more often.
Two strikes on Profar, who's been a difficult out at points in this series. He was 2 for 5 last night. Drove in 2 and helped add on to the lead late with that 2-run double in the 8th inning. Oh, and 2. That's there for strike 3. Fastball at 98 fills up the zone, and the Sox carry the lead into the 2nd inning. Get you a bun, get you some onions, get you some goodness.
As you enjoy Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in today's game.
And we'd like to welcome all our viewers in the Fort Wayne area watching on Frontier Communications. A hearty hello to the folks in the Summit City. Go Tin Caps. Kevin Smith will lead off here in the 2nd inning. There's strike 1 to Kevin, who got the day off yesterday. Night came into a day game, and Ricky Renteria trying to level out the playing time for both catchers.
This is a tough day for all the players, but especially the catcher. Pitcher at least doesn't have to wear the gear, so the catcher usually hopes that he's got a very quick working pitcher on the hill.
Hamels has been that. 3 to a strikeout, just like he did to Garcia. And 1 away.
That was a good changeup that just dove away from Kevin Smith, and he could not lay off.
But Cole Hamels has had quite the storied career. He's pitched in 16 postseason games. He was a World Series MVP for the Phillies in 2008, and will draw some attention coming soon from a contender, you'd imagine.
He came into this year 45 games over 500. When you put up numbers like that and have ERAs like he had, like 2.79 in 2011.
This one into right center field, and DeShields for out number 2. First round 2002, he was surrounded by some good players in Major League Baseball. Zach Greinke, the WAR leader. Hamels was second, then Kane and Span and Fielder. Kazmir and Nick Swisher, our old buddy.
That was a good draft, and you never really know how that draft is going to work out till years down the road. But as you can see, 2002 was somewhat of a renaissance year in that first round.
2 out for Sanchez, and Hamels is certainly in rhythm right now.
This is occasionally where you want to step out and create your own rhythm, because right now, unlike that first inning, Hamels is on fire, and Bartolo should be on fire because he's done that the entire series when he wasn't pitching.
Loves his gum.
Well, apparently with those stem cell injections, he had his sweat glands removed in the offseason, which usually comes in handy when you're wearing garb like that. Now that defeat last night, that win by Colon, tied him with Dennis Martinez for the most wins ever by a Latino pitcher.
Martinez from Nicaragua, as Elvis Andrus from Central America, essentially in the hole there, makes that throw for round number 3.
MasterCard debit card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member FDIC.
Sox fans here at the ballpark in Arlington, Globe Life Park, site of game number 3 of this series, and the Sox have the lead 1-0 thanks to a first inning RBI ground out from Jose Abreu. And here is Rougned Odor, who has his batting average at .229. That's a season high.
As you say, it doesn't sound like much, but he's come from a long way back. And in an article they did about him in the paper, he said that now He was concentrating on every pitch, which is unusual for a guy that hit 33 and 30 home runs the last couple of years. But concentrating on every pitch is actually the way you should do it each and every time you step to the plate.
He got all tied up, and he did not go.
He's been swinging it well, and he's been swinging it with more authority. And one of the reasons is he's been bunting a lot. Yolmer is way off the line at third base on the grass to take away the bunt. However, if it's up the line, there's no chance to get him. The way Odor has been swinging it the last couple of days at least, he really hasn't shown bunt because he's been making solid contact.
2-0. A little bit high, 3-0. Don Cooper hoping for a long outing today from Reynaldo Lopez, considering how busy the bullpen's been the past few days.
Last three, the bullpen has really been used a lot. I'd be very careful with that fastball to Odor. At 2-0, Kevin Smith wanted a breaking ball. Reynaldo shook to a fastball and missed with it. There is another breaking ball, and Reynaldo shook to a fastball again.
It's there for a strike. Odor thought he'd walked, or at least tried to sell it. He didn't.
Perfect pitch on the outside corner. And Odor, who's only had 15 walks this year in 188 at bats, does not walk often, but he was willing to try to take one there.
He does here. Ball 4 to lead off the second inning. Parents, register your little one for the White Sox Kids Club during your next trip to Guaranteed Rate Field. Membership's completely free and available to any kids 13 and under. Stop by the Xfinity Kids Zone located in left field to secure a custom Kids Club ID badge. For more info, visit whitesox.com/Kids Club.
Odor does not run often, but when he does run, he doesn't run well. He's stolen 3 bags, been caught 5 times. That leads the team in that dubious department.
Rua takes a rip and doesn't hit it. 0-1. Ryan Rua hit home run number 4 last night in the 5th inning off of Carlos Rodon. And well,
condominium here. The monthlies kill you, but the down is easy. That one off the mask of Kevin Smith. So Rua in a hole.
Easy maintenance as well.
It is that.
Ample shade. Go to first. Coming up, by the way, in just a few weeks at Guaranteed Rate Field, it's Tuesday, July 24th, the Double Duty Classic, which is always fun, with the history of Negro League Baseball in Chicago celebrated. Double Duty Radcliffe, the namesake, and it's a game involving the best inner city high school players in the country, hosted in Chicago. It's at 1:05 on Tuesday the 24th. One and two. Popped up. Out number 1, Moncada. One down for Gallo, who we told you yesterday is a major danger on the first pitch of the at-bat.
Well, this should be a good matchup for Reynaldo because he throws a lot of high fastballs and Joey Gallo hits a lot of low fastballs. He does not handle the high fastball, and that's been the staple of Lopez for quite some time.
Breaking ball, strike 1 to Gallo. Reynaldo Lopez, we mentioned, relies on that fastball, as you were talking about. Didn't show the curveball at all to Texas the first time he saw them back in the third week of May. It's a fastball up and out, 1 ball and 1 strike. And Lopez, for the season, really a 4-pitch pitcher. The batting average against has been best against a plus changeup that he has not thrown nearly as much this year, and maybe the average is why.
Well, I think that's one thing. Certainly, when you're hitting over 300 against any pitch, you're hesitant to throw it. But the fewer times he throws it, the more difficult it is to really throw a good one. So you have to throw it. It's almost a catch-22. You have to throw it to be effective, but you want it to be effective before you throw it a lot.
So how do you deal with that? How do you reconcile that?
You throw it in the bullpen as much as you possibly can to get a feel for it, because more than any other pitch, you're trying to use the grip of the baseball to take something off the ball, making sure that you have the same release point and the same arm velocity, but it's a question of pushing it back in your hand to get it to come out more slowly. For that, you need a feel. It's not like a fastball or a hard slider.
Two and 1 to Gallo, who had 1 home run in his last 17 games before this series started.
Seen a few low fastballs. By low, I mean anything thigh high or below, and he's lost a couple of them.
Runners off, pitch outside, throw to second is late, and a stolen base for Rougned Odor.
Another thing Odor said in that article was he was trying to look for spots to be more aggressive. And he felt, with a guy who's been known as a dead fastball hitter, that an off-speed pitch was forthcoming, so he picked a good pitch. It was a straight change, and he was able to beat the throw.
That's his 3rd stolen base the last 6 games for a guy who only has 4 on the year.
Well, trying to be more aggressive, he's trying to cement his future with this ball club. He likes playing here. He got off to just a terrible start, and he's a guy who has run in the past.
Called a strike. Gallo attempted to sell it. That was in the zone, and it's 3-2. Odor at second, 1 out for Gallo. And a 3-2 from Lopez. He got him on the corner at 97. In, then out, and see you later.
He painted on the inside corner, and this one up and away, and by pitch cast it had some of the plate. So we're a little off center as far as that center field camera is concerned, but pitchcast said it was in the zone, and that is a big call.
Would have been 2 on, 1 out. Instead, it's 2 out, 1 on for Kiner Falefa, the Honolulu-born 23-year-old. Who takes a fast strike at 96.
He's got a lot more value as a guy who can catch than a guy who can just play both the infield and outfield. If you can do them all and you can add catcher to your resume, you will find a job somewhere.
Shortstop Anderson on the grass, plants and finishes the inning. Nice play on the backhand side, much improved by Tim Anderson to that side, and the lead stands.
All new episode of Beer Money presented by Coors Light. It's Chicago's favorite sports trivia show where the fans are put to the test for a chance to take home some cash. Play along tonight at 5:30 on NBC Sports Chicago.
Can I use some of the beer money on barbecue?
I think that's a good plan. But you're going to Cincinnati, you will have chili and like it. Actually, you probably won't like it, but you will have the chili.
Oh, no, I love that stuff.
Do you really? You've tasted Skyline or?
Oh, yeah. Gold Star.
Yeah.
You have to.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do. Just ask Adam Engel.
Well, he was born there, so that's something. If you're raised with it, that's different.
See, what you have to do is you have to get the Grater's ice cream in Cincinnati. The black raspberry, the black cherry. Gold. Adam takes 1 ball, 1 strike. Engel's hit the ball well this series. He's 3 for 6. A couple of doubles.
And they haven't been cheapies. I mean, he's squared up the entire series.
Six in a row retired by Hamels starting this inning after the Sox got 2 singles to open the game. Cole Hamels, left-hander out of San Diego by way of Rancho Bernardo High School. Engel skewers this ball to left field. Rua gets there. Engel's turning it up for second base, and he is there on the fall. He held onto the bag with a leadoff double.
Well, I think Odor wants him to take a look at it because he slid late. He slid awfully hard, and Odor is saying he popped off the bag. Now, he had the glove on him all the time if he stayed on the bag, and Adam is convinced that he did. Just a difference of opinion. He hits this ball hard once again, and then with the play in front of him, he decides to test the arm of Rua. We'll watch it again. He's safe initially, but on the pop-up,
that left hand was always there.
And it was seen that way in the replay. So a 2-base hit to lead it off here in the 3rd.
It's a heck of a slide.
It was a good one to keep the hand on the bag when the rest of the body is flipping in the air.
One and one for Anderson. Now 2-1. Tim is in his career really tormented left-handed pitching, and that's why Ricky Renteria, when there's a lefty on the mound, almost immediately bumps Anderson up to 1. It's become the reflex lineup against left-handers for the Sox, with Moncada dropping down in the 6-7 range.
Well, Tim is pulling everything because Hamels does not want to allow him to hit the ball to the right side and move along Engel. But with nobody paying much attention to Adam Engel at second base, this is not a bad opportunity to steal a bag, although Andrus now is coming in behind him.
Tim has hit the ball to the opposite field more this year than he has in any of his 3 seasons with the Sox.
Well, if Hamels will cooperate and throw the fastball away, he'll take it that way again, except he's forcing him with inside pitches.
Engel at second. Nobody out. And Hamels struck him out. 3rd strikeout for Cole Hamels.
Good off-speed pitch inside. That's very much of a veteran pitch. He shook to the changeup and then got the strikeout.
So it's up to Avi Garcia, who bumped his hit streak up to 11 with that first inning double. Ball that nearly cleared the fence just right of center field. And there's ball number 1. Avi at 11 now has the longest hit streak for the Sox this year. Abreu and Sanchez each with 10. Kevin Smith had a 9-gamer, and Yolmer also 8 in early May. I know Avi Garcia's numbers last year were a major jump from his career numbers. There's a balk. Engel's going to 3rd.
And Joe West, I think, called it. I think he's saying that you didn't step off the mound, but the thing is, the only way to do that is to actually make the throw home. He's saying he broke the leg before the turnaround, but well, I don't know. That doesn't look like a balk to me. But it looked like a balk to Joe, and that's good in this case.
Maybe Joe can write a song about it.
Perhaps. How I melted on a balk call in Texas.
A little lengthy, but
Well, you never know.
it's kind of a catchy refrain. On the ground at foul of third. Joe West is a recording artist.
I know.
He's a singer, and there have been instances where I think it was the Dodgers 2 years ago used some of his songs as walk-up music for a game that he was umpiring at Dodger Stadium.
If you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band. Was that one of his?
It's proprietary to somebody else. Thank you for asking. Swing and a miss, strike three, back-to-back punch-outs for Hamels.
He buried that cutter inside and down. And Hamels now is starting to show very good stuff. This is tough to lay off, and then when you do swing, it's almost impossible to hit. What you're going to do is foul it right off your foot, or you're going to foul it off your ankle, which is never a good thing.
So now you've got Abreu with a runner at third and 2 out. How much does he get to hit here? Even with Davidson and his 14 homers on deck.
Well, Jose's really been scuffling lately, and it depends on the scouting report used by Jeff Bannister and his staff. Jose has just one hit in the series that came in the 9th inning last night. I'm pretty much thinking now if he gets one in the zone, it'll be a mistake by Hamels, who cut that ball in 2 straight times way off the plate inside.
2-0. Jose pokes it to right center field and down past the Shields. A run home. Jose might be thinking 3. Here he goes. The big guy motoring for third. It's an RBI triple.
And that's what a run producer will do. That wasn't a strike. That looked to me low and away out of the zone. Hamels inviting Jose to get himself out of the strike zone. Well, he went down and got it. And he drove it into right center field. So DeShields, who's having a very good year defensively, cannot knock it down. And then Jose is off to the races. He drives in his 49th run. He's driven in both of the runs today.
Now Davidson gets under the first pitch, and DeShields is there to make the catch. Jose Abreu triples in a run. The 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your home team throughout the season and the official mortgage provider of the Chicago White Sox. Get started today at rate.com and reach through your TV and grab a kebab.
Boy, if you can take all the vegetables off of that, that would be really good.
Then it is literally chicken on a stick.
There you go.
Sounds great. Really appetizing.
It was nice.
Delano DeShields, first pitch, strike 1. The Rangers, if you like obscure random splits.
Yes.
You do?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of my favorite things.
It's in the air to right field. The drama builds. 0-2 on him. The Rangers are 21-8 when Delano DeShields scores a run.
That's fairly random.
But speaks to the importance of his production.
Well, especially when you have a team that steals occasionally. He's the guy that steals the most by far. And he will disrupt the pitcher when he gets on. So getting him out at the top of the inning is even more important.
Fortune just left the lineup card this way, that he leads off, then Choo to follow, and then Andrews. One and two from Lopez. Down with a fastball. You think maybe on a day like today, you're less likely to use the 1-2 as a setup or waste pitch to try to get out of the heat faster?
I don't think you need a waste pitch ever, personally.
Right.
I want to make it close enough to be swinging.
Second base, Moncada for out number 1. Time now for Old Dominion bringing his best, and that's been the case for Shin-Soo Choo for the last 41 games. He is now tied for third with Toby Harrah for longest on-base streak in Rangers history. Julio Franco 46 back in 1993. He's almost halfway to Ted Williams and his 84-game streak. Ted Williams, by the way, the first manager in Rangers history.
They've had a lot of notables that have managed this team over the years. Some guys that were great players, some guys that went on to be great managers. Managed here with the Rangers. Well, I would hope that we would have compiled a list of those guys.
You think maybe?
I think our crack crew is right on it, as a matter of fact.
Notable managers, just like you said. Don Zimmer, Billy Martin, Whitey Herzog, Bobby Valentine before his disguise phase.
Buck Showalter made a stop here.
Choo hits it well center field, but Engel's got him again. That's twice Choo has flied out to Adam Engel, and 2 out.
You know, on that list was Whitey Herzog, who was really one of the great managers, but even a better evaluator in the game of baseball. He built organizations, he managed, he general managed, he's been used as an advisor. He was wonderful with Kansas City, wonderful with the Cardinals, with the Angels, with the Mets, and he spent some time here with the Rangers.
Came here to Texas in the early 70s, the Rangers did. Although there's been baseball in the Dallas area since 1888. Minor league baseball. Started with the Dallas Hams. Check swing grounder, and that will do it. Oh, we're going to have to wait for Dallas Hams history now, like forever.
Tonight on NBC Sports Chicago, watch the White Sox #1 prospect Eloy Jimenez and the Charlotte Knights take on Gwinnett. Coverage begins at 7. You can stream the game on the NBC Sports app.
The Gwinnett Stripers, the former G Braves, they changed their name this year. Carson Fulmer on the mound in that game for Charlotte. Leori Garcia, who struck out against Cole Hamels in the first inning. And there's strike number 1. Sox led yesterday 2-0 early on. Then Texas got 5 runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th combined. Rangers bolted out to that big early lead in the opener with a 7-run second inning. That is dropped, so Garcia staves off strike 3.
And last night was the hateful 8th.
Yes.
That was not pleasant, and it took close to 40 minutes for a half an inning.
At that point, you round up to a full inning. Andrews has to charge. And save! Garcia beat it out.
I think Elvis had forgotten just how fast his former teammate was. He charged it, but not aggressively enough. And he's looking to see the replay to see if he indeed got him. He waited back somewhat, and they're going to take a look at it. They think they got him.
But does New York?
They got him.
Yeah, they did. To New York we go for the instant replay. The fans here are cheering. This is going to be a fairly short conversation with Joe West.
It will indeed.
Ricky Renteria awaiting the decision, which is out.
They waited a bit and walking back to their positions before Joe finally did signal the out.
Well, there was always Bo knows with Bo Jackson. Joe knows drama.
Well, there was some drama.
One down for Kevin Smith. Sox will be in Cincinnati tomorrow for the first of 3 night games, and the Reds, who keep winning ball games, are up 8-0 on Milwaukee so far this afternoon.
Something about that rain. They're up 3-0. It rained and they scored 5 quick ones, and so Jim Riggleman has that team playing very well, and they are pounding the baseball.
Andrews, another chance. More time here. 2 gone. Here's your Sox math question for today. Hashtag Sox math on Twitter. First correct answer wins a prize off the prize shelf. Sox scored how many times last night multiplied by the last digit in Reynaldo Lopez's birth year? That's your question. How old is Reynaldo Lopez? What's the birth year? Do a little math, do a little extra math, and you can win a prize from the road. Maybe a bucket of Steve Stone's sweat.
Today's not all that bad.
I agree.
Last night, little humid.
Well, last night the wind was blowing harder and in, which makes you feel like an apple pie.
It did.
Yeah. In the center of the oven.
Plus the length of the ball game was a factor, certainly.
Elvis Andrews. Time and a half for this 4th inning. 3 ground outs to him. Sox still lead. Guaranteed Rate Sox Farm Report, and it is Gavin Sheets. A .400 average in a 15-game hit streak, including today at Frawley Stadium, where it was 95 degrees at game time. So they're dealing with it too in the minors in Wilmington, Delaware. But Gavin starting to really show that power potential the Sox saw when they drafted him.
That's what kind of a day it is here.
A day where you use the drink container to fan yourself?
Use anything you can.
All right, top 3 ballpark devices you can use to fan yourself. Go.
How about a fan?
It's on the list.
How about a beard?
It's not pliable. Davidson at first. Holds on to out number 1. Shirt as hat. What's in that container? Is that sorbet or something? Italian ice?
Yes.
Yes
to both.
Dave Chella made the trip.
He's on vacation and you get one in, huh? Okay.
1 down for Profar, whose brother also is in the minor league system for the Rangers. The horizontal sleeping. One and one to Profar. Any day's a good day to be at the ballpark. You just have to pack accordingly.
And pick your seats well, because the sun is pretty tough today.
Sun's got complete game shutout stuff right now.
So it appears, does Ronaldo Lopez.
Good play to Nachos for a Rocky fan who evidently was led astray by his navigation app.
Profar with more power from the left side, but a little better hitter from the right.
Two and two. High into the blue sky, back of home. Kevin Smith into row 2. Well, this is a big start for the Sox, considering the bullpen and its usage the past couple of days. Yesterday, it took Jace Fry getting up late to finish off the 8th inning. Last 3 relievers combined for an inning and a third.
And a whole lot of pitches.
Center field, Engel oncoming and has to play it on a hop. It gets behind him and goes tumbling to the warning track's edge. Profar at breakneck speed into third.
That seems to me a single and a 2-base error, but we'll see how it's scored here. It is single. It is E8. This ball hit awfully hard, and when Adam couldn't get to it, he didn't put the body in front, and the ball gets by him. Playing that one off to the side cost him 2 bags.
And maybe a run, considering you now have runner at third, 1 out for Rougned Odor, who's 3 for 9 in the series, including a home run in game 1. And for Ricky Renteria, a teaching moment certainly when this half inning ends. Sometimes he'll send Joe McEwing over to chat with the player. Quite frequently, Ricky likes to take care of things like that right as they happen rather than letting them linger. As that ball's tagged into right field, and the Rangers do get their first run on the RBI single from Rougned Odor.
He's only got 20 runs batted in this year, but lately swinging it a whole lot better. And with a walk, a stolen base, and a base hit, and a run driven in, it's been a productive day already for Odor.
Free outs, free bases, free anything in baseball usually leads to despair, large or small.
It does that, and the team has been unusually generous these last few days.
1 in, 1 out, Ryan Rua. To third, Sanchez has it go by. Odor hooks it to third. Rua's into second.
I think Yolmer was thinking about 2. And that's usually the case. It is a 2-base hit. Just the second double of the season for Rua, who's played in back-to-back games. We'll take another look at it. And Yolmer pounds the glove after letting this ball get by him.
Conversation at the mound. The infield comes in. And Kevin Smith talking to Lopez. The key for pitchers is to not let "here we go again" creep in.
And Ricky is saying put Gallo on, take the chances with Carner, Kiner Falefa, who's coming up and will come up with the bases loaded.
You play for the double play here. The only danger is Gallo does present you quite the opportunity to get a strikeout. And now Ricky Renteria is talking to Joe West.
He also wants to talk to Marty Foster, apparently.
Joe West doing most of the talking right there.
One thing I can imagine is Ricky might not have walked him intentionally, but
he put up the signal for 4. That's the only thing I can think of too is that he didn't want to walk Gallo.
Well, we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, the counter to walking Gallo would be he's a major strikeout factor. Kiner Falefa did ground out last time. We'll see how it plays. Bases loaded, 1 out, 1 in. And ball 1.
Davidson and Sanchez in at the corners. On a chopper, they'll probably come home with it. It goes to either Anderson or Moncada. They'll go second to first on a double play attempt.
Ronaldo has relied so heavily on that slider. Kiner Falefa has been a very good hitter against the slider this year. See what Lopez decides to do with this sequence. He just missed the outside, breaking it away. 2-0. Odor at third, Rua at second, Gallo at first. Two and 0. Down the chute for a strike at 96. We saw during the homestand the one peril as well of intentional walks is the possible bases loaded walk on the back end. Lopez has had good control today, just 1 walk unintentionally so far. That's up and out. 3-1 to Kiner Falefa.
Lino DeShields waiting in the on deck circle.
Three and 1. Now 3-2. Pitch looked like it was going to be very close on 3-1. Now the payoff. He struck him out with a breaking ball in the zone, and 2 gone.
The center fielder, Lino DeShields.
There's the slider, and stayed under the bat.
Two down for DeShields. Sox trying to protect a very tenuous lead right now. Ball 1. The Rangers have succeeded in one way so far, really pushing that pitch count up for Lopez. The next one will be 65, with the bullpen very taxed for the Sox. Fastball off the plate, 2-0. $25 balls, 40 strikes for Reynaldo Lopez. Three hits, one walk in the inning. That was intentional. 2-0 is up high. It's 3-0. Not only is the lead in jeopardy, but an extremely perilous hitter next in Shin-Soo Choo. This is a take, right?
You would think so.
Certainly is. Ball 4. A run in.
Just the 17th, and Don Cooper walking to the mound in what has become a tie game.
And what has become a laborious fourth inning for Reynaldo Lopez, the 24-year-old Sox right-hander. Let's give you your Sox math answer while we have a moment. Coop going to the mound. Your winner is Jay Reeses. 4 runs last night, 4 in Lopez's birth year. He is 24 years old. He was born in 1994. 16 is your answer for Sox math today. So 2 in, 3 on. Choo, the batter, with his 41 game on base streak.
Look at those numbers with the bases loaded. They've been outstanding. And what for Choo has been a very solid career.
Fastball runs in the zone for a strike. 35 years old from Korea, Shin-Soo Choo. Top 20 OPS in baseball coming into today. All other things equal, where do you pitch Choo?
You'd like to throw him up, and you'd like to throw him middle out. Let him lift that fly ball either to center or left center.
Breaking ball, tipped foul, 1-2.
Choo has no problem striking out. He's going to strike out anywhere from 160 to 175 times this year. But he also draws a lot of walks.
Most on the team right now, 53 of them. 1-2. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Lopez extracts himself from a tough fourth with a tie. 1:10 p.m. the last game before the All-Star break. All kids 13 and under get a play ball pitch grip baseball to teach you how to properly throw the most common major league pitches. To buy your tickets, visit whitesox.com today.
You can pretty much wrap bacon around anything and it would be just delicious.
That is 100% true. Give me all the bacon you have.
There it is, bacon dogs.
Not a lot of bacon. Literally all the bacon you have. Yolmer Sanchez looks at strike 1, the 8-hitter, then 9 Adam Engel, and Tim Anderson back at the top, as you can see with our handy dandy little numbers next to the names. Yolmer in the 8 position. Cole Hamels given a reprieve after allowing a run in the first and a run in the third. Shortstop Andrews, you said he still has the range, and there it is, out number one.
Probably isn't like it used to be when he was younger, but he's so dependable. Positioning is good. He shows you pretty decent range to his left. Keeps this one out of left center field. And a well hit ball goes for Knott here to lead off a fifth inning.
Adam Engel with a double in the third. He came around to score on the Abreu triple that got by Delino DeShields in center field.
You'd have to figure if you're hitting against Cole Hamels and you're a right-hand hitter, look middle in, because most everything is going to be there. He very rarely will go after a fastball away to hitters, maybe just to set him up for what he really wants to do.
Just clip the corner there. Maybe try and get you to go after a pitch out of the zone away.
Yeah, he'll do that. But all things being equal, he loves jam right-hand hitters.
He gets a swinging strike three. Kiner Falefa can't find the baseball, and Engel's safe at first. We told you this is the fourth career start for Kiner Falefa in the majors at catcher, and there the Sox get a base off the drop third strike.
And that's a gift. Let's see if the boys can take advantage of it. Ball didn't trickle away that far, but he couldn't locate it. By the time he does, it's too late, as Adam hustling up the line beat the play easily.
And so we'll see if Engel decides to test this combo. No need. Anderson down the line. Fair ball into the corner. Tough carom for Rua. Engel's waved around. Throw coming to the plate is not in time. Throw third. Save! Sox lead again. Anderson into third.
Well, the Rangers open the door on the strikeout of Engel. They let him get aboard, and Tim Anderson made him pay for it. Drives in his 34th run of the year with his second hit of the afternoon. We'll take another look at it. By Profar, he can't get to it. The ball does rattle around for a bit. Nick Capra, who's very aggressive at third base, decides to go with the speed, sending Engel. He's able to beat the play, as is Anderson on the back end.
Rua tried to launch it all the way there, and on one bounce did, but Engel was already in. So with the infield in, that one's into left field. Avi Garcia drives in Anderson. It's 4-2.
Avi driving in number 10 after Anderson drove in number 34.
That's a good response by the Sox to a bumpy bottom of the fourth inning. Jose turns on it foul. Three driven in from the top three in the order the last couple of innings, and Abreu with a fourth one in the first inning. So all of the run production in this game provided by the top three in the card for the Sox.
5 hits combined in 8 at bats, and for the table setters, that's pretty good. Not only the table setters today, but the run producers.
In this 2018, sometimes your table setters are your run producers. Up the middle, Andrews on the dive, and he cannot find the ears on the ball. Odor wasn't at second base, so it was unlikely they'd have a chance at the lead runner anyway, but the Sox have another runner on.
First baseman Matt Davidson.
Odor going for the ball, but he had no chance to get it, leaving second base uncovered. That's a base hit all the way as it bounds away from Andrus. 3 straight hits after the door was opened with a strikeout that was not played by Kiner Falefa.
Two on, 1 out, and Davidson. Strike 1.
Ranger bullpen is stretching. There's 3 of the guys out there stretching, but nobody is throwing to this point.
In the opener, Gallardo went 7 1/3. Colon 5+ yesterday. So there are some fresh arms in that bullpen for Texas, though they did use 4 relievers in the 13-4 win yesterday. This one's ripped to left field. Rua has no play. It's off the scoreboard. Garcia heads home. Abreu waved around. This throw is not put down on the tag.
It was a good pick by Kiner Falefa, but he didn't get to the plate in time. And Jose given the go-ahead by Nick Capra, again aggressively trying to beat the throw, and he was able to do it. So Matt Davidson, with his 13th double of the year, drives in a pair, giving him 35. The throw is there in plenty of time, but he tags the upper part of the body, and the leg is in. Mark Ripperger on the call, and Nick says keep on going.
Nick went full out Elvis, windmill 1 knee.
Throw beats him by plenty, but he could not get the tag there in time. Good slide as Jose threw the body away, put the leg on the plate, and beat the tag.
You're not only testing the outfield arm in that case, you're not only testing everybody beyond the plate for the Rangers, you're testing a new catcher,
which is a wise move to make. Just a great slide as he angles his body away from the tag. By the time the tag gets there, the foot is on the plate. And Hamels starting to get peppered here, down by 4.
You know, umpires get criticized for any number of things. Mark Ripperger was in perfect position to make that call,
and he made it well. Now the bullpen is going.
Yeah. In earnest, you could say. On 1 and 2 for Garcia, he fouls it away. So Cole Hamels continues to not pitch well in this ballpark this year, as Alex Claudio, one of 3 left-handers in that pen, is warming up.
He is the changeup specialist.
Strike 3. Hamels without number 2.
Catcher Kevin Smith.
Kevin now 20 for 60 at .333 average. Into right field, not a shock at all considering his season. Davidson on his way home, and man is safe. Kiner Falefa couldn't reel it in. 7-2 Sox. A pile-on in the 5th.
Kevin with his 6th driven in, his first hit of the day. And it's very difficult on the short hop. So you have a choice. You either sail it all the way or get it well out on the grass. This is not a good throw by Mazara. He expects it. You're going to cut him down, but it puts an inordinate amount of pressure on your catcher as Doug Brocail comes out. Short hops for a catcher with that catcher's glove are the most difficult balls to play. And again, you got two choices: sail it all the way or get it out on the grass so that he can catch it cleanly and then make the tag.
That's a ball that not many catchers are going to make the play on, let alone somebody in his first week of games in the majors at catcher.
No, too difficult.
Another run in. Moncada flips it foul right side. Ninth batter of the inning for the Sox. Now 0-2 for Yoan. 4 straight hits in the inning, but the catalyst really was the drop third strike that ended up with Engel at first base. Anderson doubled, Garcia singled, Abreu singled, Davidson the 2-run double, and then Kevin Smith drove in one more. So each team in the series has had an inning with at least 9 batters up. There's been one every day.
Nice to see it on the boys in gray, though.
Hamill strikes out Moncada, and that ends the 5th inning. But the Sox offense erupts. Hit after hit after slide after hit after run after hit after hit after run. That's how many there were. Yeah, the rally continued throughout with 5 runs. However, one casualty, Chuck, was Leori Garcia, who's out of the game. Charlie Tilson is into left, and you wonder if Garcia hurt himself on one of those swings in his 3rd at bat of the game in that 5th inning.
Well, hopefully not, because Leary was swinging a good bat. And when he was forced to play the infield, he did a credible job at third base to go with his outfield play, which is all over anywhere Ricky needs him.
When Yolmer was dinged up, Garcia played third. And there is Sanchez to throw out Andrews, one away. So the Rangers have 8 batters come up in the 4th and can't do any more damage with the bases loaded and 2 out. And then the Sox, with a run of hits in the 5th, take clear control of this game.
You'd advise the boys to keep on grinding, because this park is very lively and this Ranger team has been scoring quite a bit at home.
Yeah, we've seen it with our own eyes the last couple days.
Yeah, they can hit the baseball. They don't catch it very well, but they can hit it.
Especially with a worn out bullpen for the Sox, and it'll be interesting to see if this game stands at 7-2, who Ricky Renteria calls on behind Lopez, who's at 75 pitches today.
Well, look, the 2 consistent innings eaters all year long. One is on the mound, and Ronaldo Lopez. He's going to go over 100 innings, and James Shields is already at 107. So you couldn't have better guys going to the hill than these 2 guys who've been innings eaters.
1 out hit for Mazara. Bring your family of 4 to a White Sox game for as low as $49. Our family 4-pack includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 chips, and 4 sodas. Upper level and lower level packages available. And you can check out all the available dates at whitesox.com/4packs today. One on, one out for Jurix and Profar. Switch hitter who's had a very nice series offensively.
He's one of the real mystery men because he was a #1 prospect in this organization for a while, and then all of a sudden Andrews came in to play shortstop. Odor came up to play second base, and Profar was pretty much odd man out, as these Rangers, who have developed a lot of first basemen in the course of their history, had really no place for Profar to play. Then he got hurt a couple of times, and that limited his play. But they believe he's still got a whole lot of talent. He's still young enough to be an everyday player, although whether it's in Texas or not remains to be seen, as this team is in a quiet rebuild. It's not professed yet, but it will be, and they will be in a complete rebuild after this year. Certainly we'll see just how extensive it's going to be at the trade deadline and see just how many guys they decide to move.
Well, it's not a quiet dugout right there with Jeff Bannister barking at Mark Ripperger. Didn't like the strike call to a couple of his guys in this 5th inning. There was a disagreement in values at points last night as well on the strike zone.
There was a few.
Oh, 2. He reaches out and pokes it foul. Profar, who won the Little League World Series World Division with his team from Curacao when he was 11 years old. And when he was playing at home in Little League a long time ago, even before he went to the Little League World Series, there was one day he got hit in the tooth as a kid playing baseball. Came back a few days later to the field and found the tooth.
That's good, because a tooth fairy won't pay off.
It's true. You got to have product.
That's it.
2 down. Mazar is still at first. Hey, Xfinity X1 customers, say show me the Chicago White Sox into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1.
That was a great slider, maybe the best of the afternoon, that he threw under the hands of Profar to get the second out of the inning. One of the guys that probably won't be going anywhere unless it's a team to his liking is Adrian Beltre, who's a 10-5 man, so he has control of his fate. And Beltre has already said if he does come back to play next year, and there was an if there, not a when, but if he does come back to play, he wants it to be with the Rangers. That being said, he probably would like to win one more time. It's not going to be with the Rangers this year. He seems to be intent on going through the rebuild with the team in next year, but he might be enticed to go to a team that he truly believes are a slam dunk playoff team, and preferably one that's going to win their division, so you're not in the one and done game and get taken out before you really get your feet under you in the playoffs.
While it is a nice consolation prize, nobody's gunning for that wild card spot.
No, it's very difficult, especially imagine those teams in the East of the American League. They're two dominant teams. There's very little space between them. Coming into today, Boston has a slim game lead over the Yankees. But whoever loses that is in the one and done game. So when you take a look at the pitching staffs, if you're in the one and done game and you're Boston, you feel real good about Chris Sale. But if it's that close all the way down, you're going to probably need Sale to get you to the division title. If you don't, well, then you're going to go with less than your best. Although they have good pitchers, they won't be Chris Sale.
Especially with the front line rotations, a couple of spots in the American League, even including a Cleveland team that has been uneven this year.
Well, you get Kluber in the, but they're not going to be in the one and done game. But if you were to get him in the one and done, you'd be in trouble. But same thing with New York with Severino. If they use him going down the stretch to try to beat Boston and they don't beat them, you can't use Severino in that wild card game.
Left side. Sanchez. Save. Odor beat it out. Yolmer says, my bad.
Well, in this shift, it becomes a little difficult for the force at second base. Although Yolmer looked at second and probably should have gone there, he decided to go to first. Now, the out was there for him. And he can't get it at first as Odor, who's playing really good solid baseball and playing much more aggressively. He was hustling up the line the whole way, and he created that base hit when Yolmer decided not to go for the force.
Ryan Rua. Lopez all over the strike zone in this inning.
Dave Ross, who looked ahead at the schedule, says that the Yankees and Red Sox finish the season as they should, going head to head. But from the Yankees standpoint, they don't want to finish it in Fenway Park, but that's what's going to happen.
'97 upstairs, 0-2.
Pitch number 89, no velocity lost at all for Ronaldo Lopez. He doesn't even look like he's sweating.
How can that be?
Just kind of coasting into this at 97, 98 consistently.
Oh, 0-2 to Rua. In the air, first base side, should do it. Moncada for out number 3. Well, look, Nelson Cruz isn't here, but they call that the boomstick for a couple of reasons. Ricky, in the era of the home run, walk, and strikeout, what's the value of team speed?
I still think there's a lot of value in team speed, even though the game seems to try to minimize it. I mean, if you can get closer to scoring, you know, you get to third base, for example, with nobody out, even though that statistic probably is not as good as you would want it to be. A pass ball, a fly ball, an error. I mean, you're 90 feet away from scoring. So if you're able to advance from first to third, take advantage of a second to home, scoring from first on a ball in the gap, speed plays.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, that rally in the 5th inning started in part because of the speed. Adam Engel on a drop third strike beat out the throw from Kiner Falefa, and then suddenly you blink and the Sox have a 5-run inning.
And there's a lot of team speed in this lineup today, and they've taken advantage of it. So Alex Claudio comes in the game. Cole Hamels is out of the game. He's done for today. He leaves trailing by 5. Claudio on for the 35th time. He's 4-2, his ERA up close to 5. He was the closer on this team, but he's since lost that. However, that changeup's still pretty good. But if he's not getting consistent work, he loses the feel for that. Kela is now the closer, and he's been just outstanding.
He's not blown a save all year, Kela.
That would be one of the guys that I'm sure will draw some interest. I think they'd love to keep Leclerc and probably trade Kela.
To first, Joey Gallo. White Sox fans, join us for Country Music Night as the Sox take on the Toronto Blue Jays Friday, July 27th, 7:10 p.m. Be sure to stay after the game for a post-game fireworks show presented by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. To get your tickets, visit whitesox.com. 100. We hit it. Congratulations, everyone.
Leary Garcia left with a jammed finger on his left hand, so hopefully he's going to be okay. And he departed before the triple digits.
Just made it out in time. The hope is Garcia, who had been dealing with a little bit of a finger issue, hasn't exacerbated that same thing. Up the middle again. Adam Engel with another hit in this series. It's number 5 in 3 games.
Nice series for Adam, who even when he's not hitting the baseball has made solid contact. And he takes it safely right back up the middle.
Tim Anderson, who's got a pair of hits already, takes that off-speed pitch for a called strike. Mentioned the Blue Jays are coming to town. We would be remiss if we didn't wish our friends up north a happy Canada Day, including at Sox of White on Twitter. As this goes to first, Gallo spins it to second, return pass in time. Nice footwork to finish off that double play. '18 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot. Sorry, I'm distracted by the beautiful food. All-Star Ballot is open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite White Sox are represented on the squad by voting right now. That looks so good. WhiteSox.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox.
Look a lot better with all that stuff on top. Too much stuff.
Too much stuff?
Yeah.
You and Chuck Barris disagree completely.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not lately, though.
It's a breaking ball for a strike. 1-1 on Joey Gallo, who was intentionally walked in the 4th inning. Whether the Sox wanted to or not is in question. And there was a replay review in one of the breaks following that intentional walk. Question is, did the Sox actually ask for it?
It is a good question.
We'll find out after the game and relay to you what we find out. See what the shift does here. Anderson gets over there and completes the out. Time to quiz Steve on his own career against the Texas Rangers. Sticks and stone time on a Sunday afternoon. Your first career win against Texas. Who was the opposition?
Well, let's see. As a free agent, they chose Doyle Alexander over me. Said they wanted to spend $1 million. I said I'd be more than happy to take it, but they said no. Gaylord Perry was with me when I first came to the major leagues, and Bert Blyleven's just an affable guy. So I'll say Doyle Alexander.
You think so?
No, I'm just saying it.
Hate to see you with something actually on the line in a trivia contest.
Ooh, that would be horrible.
And 1-0, a foul ball from Kiner Falefa.
96 pitches and no fall off in velocity for Lopez. Fastball is still very crisp.
Center field, that one stayed up. And Kiner Falefa is 1 for 3.
Ronaldo gets under sliders on occasion because he's kind of a short armor, and instead of getting on top, he gets on the side of the ball. That keeps it up in the zone, and instead of any depth at all, it slides straight across, and that time Kiner Falefa took it into center field.
Well, you mentioned the velocity on the fastball. Reynaldo Lopez's first fastball of this game was 94.5. So he's willing to gain some speed as time goes on.
He's been up as high as 98 today, we've seen, but consistently 96.
The way this Ranger team creates the 3-run home run, a type of offense you'd rather avoid any situation where there's more than one guy on base. We saw that in game 1, especially with the 5 home runs. In the air, right hand side, twisting Foul. And dropped. Fans who aren't completely exhausted by the heat are booing. Heartbreaker.
I think he might have lost it in the sun. No, he just lost it. That was in the middle of the glove, and fan interference, most likely.
We'll go to replay for it. Oh, he's out of challenges. And that's a balk.
We've seen a couple of them in this game. And now he's saying, no, it wasn't a balk. So go back.
It's an unbalk.
You're trying the unlawful advancement to second base clause.
Santa's litigious brother.
Jeff Bannister's going, things have not worked out particularly well to this point, so this is not surprising to me.
Wow. Nothing more entertaining on a Sunday afternoon than a balk-unbalk combination.
Well, I do believe that it's impossible to balk when there's timeout, and I think that was probably the case. I have no doubt that he would have balked if the time was in. It just wasn't.
Foul ball right side, 2-2 on DeShields. Was 0 for 6 all time against Lopez. Sox will be on the road for 3 more in Cincinnati and 4 in Houston. A 10-game road trip, the longest road trip of the season for the White Sox. Kiner Falefa at first, and that ball in the dirt. So how many pitches will we see from Lopez in this game with the status of the bullpen?
Depending on how many he uses to get out of this inning, I think you let him go out at least for the 7th.
His high this year was against Texas, 107. Kiner Falefa runs. That's strike 3 and no throw from Kevin Smith. A stolen base for Kiner Falefa, but 2 out.
We'll take another look. 6th stolen base, and
you know, you could argue.
Well, you
could argue batter.
Yeah, but you can only argue it if, in fact, he had attempted to throw the ball.
Right.
And that's when the guy's crossing in front of you, which you're not allowed to do. All you got to do is make the attempt and hit him.
Whack him in the head.
And you might actually sell that call.
That actually didn't really need much of a sell job, considering he walked right in front of the plate.
That 41 straight games on base is very much on the line. 2 figures to get 2 more at bats. This one and at least 1 more.
Oh, 1. Called a strike.
There's a break. I don't think I would go inside this at bat because Choo has been hit 4 times this year, might be ready to step in front of one to get on base and keep the inning alive.
And Lopez steps off the rubber for a moment. 0-2 to Choo. Sox with a 5-run 5th inning today. Two-strike pitch. Punch down the left field side. And foul. So that's what Adrian Beltre does with his day off.
Decides to sit in the stands and just enjoy it. Has not adopted the Bartolo Colon hoodie sweatshirt yet is Jace Fry getting loosened up. Ronaldo is at the 106 pitch mark. So he's going to let him get through this inning and then probably take him down if he can get through this inning.
Oh, and 2. In the air, right side. Engel scoots over to make the play. We'll go to the 7th. Sox in the lead.
Xfinity, and it is the 5th inning, and a very productive 5th inning. We saw extra bases taken. We saw balls bashed. We saw line drives. We saw plays at the plate. We saw it all. And it's given the Sox the lead. Matt Davidson hitting the ball very hard as he's done this entire series. He drove in a pair. So Ronaldo Lopez outpitched Cole Hamels. Very likely that he's done for the day, but he took him through 6, got the 18 outs, 9 remaining, and did a nice job under very difficult 100-degree conditions.
So off we go to the 7th with that as the backdrop, and the Sox doing a number on Hamels today, so it's another left-hander, Claudio, to face Avisail Garcia, who's 2 for 3.
Looks to me like Yomer is helping out somewhat. I guess when his career is over, he wants to take over for Herm Schneider. Looks like a blown tire. Yomer patching it. And Brian Ball saying, okay, go get him, Yomer. You got a future in this.
It's the only AAA Yomer wants to be a part of. Avi Garcia into the right field side and hanging around in the corner long enough for Avi to turn on the Jets. He busts it for 3rd. He is safe. He held the bag.
And Profar wants him to take a look at it. He thinks he might have got him as Avi came off the bag, but credit Avi in a 7-2 game. Not ready to call in the dogs quite yet. He keeps hustling around as Mazzara had some problems in the corner. Takes it right down the line and hustling. We have never seen Avi not hustling as he runs out anything. And here he tries to run it into a 3-base hit. Looked to me like he's on the bag, and Joe West had the best look you could possibly have. He's looking right at him. The hand never left the bag, although Profar wanted him to take a look at it, but it's going to go for naught.
So Avi to 3rd, and you kind of saw this coming considering how hard he's hit the ball. The exit velocity leader on balls in play on average for the Sox in June. 94 miles an hour, the average ball hit, as Jose bloops this ball to center. DeShields nearly overran it. Now he floats it back home, and the Sox get another run. Abreu with more good situational hitting. The sacrifice fly, and it's 8-2.
Well, DeShields, who is a good outfielder, plays this one very poorly, because if he sets up well and has all his momentum coming forward, he might make the play. Does not have a great arm, but he would have had everything going for him. As it was, he misjudges it. So he's got to leap up at the end, and heads up base running by Avi, because he sees what's happening to DeShields. He can't possibly catch it, come down, get in throwing position, and get it there near in time. And so Jose drives in yet another run, his 3rd of the day.
First one an RBI ground out, next one an RBI triple, this one a sac fly. And the Alex Claudio changeup festival has gone the way of the Sox as Davidson sprays this ball to left. So another multi-hit game for Matt Davidson. He's 2 for 4.
Who says pitchers can't hit?
Hashtag pitchers who rake.
Been a very productive series for Matt Davidson, one he's never going to forget. He might forget the home runs and the doubles and the runs scored and the runs batted in, but he won't forget his 1 inning on the hill. It was a perfect inning.
The dude was beaming.
He was.
The next day.
There's no doubt about it. I talked to him afterward, and this was a dream for him. He said it might sound a little cheesy, but it was a lifelong dream. You can cross it off his bucket list, and he wants to do it again.
Yeah, not just once. I mean, he was very proud. You could tell talking to him. Matt Davidson is very proud of what he did in high school on the mound. He wore Randy Johnson's number. He was a huge fan of the big unit and had an ERA just above 1 in high school. And look, you wouldn't want to do it all the time, but certainly if it gets to the point where the bullpen's tired out again, you might turn that direction.
I would think so, because he looked like a pitcher. I mean, you don't want him to do it for a living because he's too good a hitter, but he did look like a pitcher in that inning.
Charlie strikes out, 2 gone. We have to give you an answer for Sticks and Stone, by the way.
You don't have to.
Yeah, it's a contractual obligation.
Okay, let's see what we have.
You said not Bert Blyleven. You had Doyle.
Geez, I thought I had Bert. It was no. Huh?
No, you didn't.
My memory is serving me incorrectly. No, I said Doyle, and it was Bert.
I'm sorry. You do get to take home Sticks and Stone, the board game.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But Bert and Gaylord Perry, both in the Hall of Fame. And Doyle big at the bank.
Took too long for Bert to get in.
It really did, because he deserved it. 60 shutouts. No telling how many complete games he wound up with, but with 60 shutouts, that's a really impressive career. All those strikeouts.
Yeah, it's so often somebody's Hall of Fame chances are colored by who he was on the ballot with the first time.
Well, also the number for pitchers that stuck in everybody's mind. 300 wins. 300 wins was a magic number. You had to be above it to get in the Hall of Fame. Jim Cott not in the Hall of Fame. Look at his numbers over the course of his career. Tommy John not in the Hall of Fame. Look at his numbers. And Bert Blyleven finally did make it, largely because of the shutouts and the strikeouts.
This ground ball is the end of the top of the 7th here in Arlington. Sox get 1 more on the Abreu sac fly. 8-2.
T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Tomorrow on NBC Sports Chicago, the White Sox head to Cincinnati to take on the Red Hot Reds. Coverage begins at 6, and you can stream the game on the NBC Sports app.
What do you say we take a look at the Verizon projected starters for game number 1?
Okay, why don't we do that?
Threw your promo at me. Luis Castillo on the mound for Cincinnati. James Shields for the Sox. You want a bullpen saver, he has been that. It's game number 1 of 3. Cincinnati playing very good baseball. And speaking of bullpens, as we were moments ago, let's go around Major League Baseball, where Michael Lorenzen continues to be Mike Hampton. A salami yesterday against Milwaukee, a homer in 3 straight at-bats this week. Somebody stop that man.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, this is the fact that the starting pitcher is still out on the hill. And looks like he's going to go in excess of 115, 120 pitches unless Ricky Renteria decides to let him get an out or so. Don Cooper checking the bullpen to see who might be loose. And maybe he's in just to face Andrus, and then will take a seat against Mazzara, who's in the 2 spot. You would think that would be the case.
I love that umbrella. That White Sox umbrella is a keepsake for Mark Salas and his crew down in the bullpen. Lopez 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. And the Sox bullpen cabana with great arts and crafts, by the way.
Art certainly, probably short on crafts.
A little bit. Elvis Andrus takes ball number 1. This is a volume run scoring offense for Texas, so don't want to let them creep back into this game anyway.
I would think we're going to see Ricky pop up after the Andrus at bat.
This is the highest pitch total already for Lopez
I don't
this year.
think you want him to go too deeper in this particular pitch count.
Here's 110. And that's a strike. 1 and 2. This is the highest pitch total for Lopez in his career as a major league player. So Don Cooper and Ricky Renteria getting as much out of him as they possibly can this afternoon. One ball, 2 strikes on Elvis Andrus. Slider away, 2 and 2.
That one didn't miss by much.
Tried that corner again, and Andrus spoiled it. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andrus, Mazara, Profar in the inning. Sox do not have an off day until the Monday after next, so 8 days from now. To first, and Davidson for out number 1.
And here comes Ricky. That means Jace Fry's coming in the game, and the day is done for Ronaldo, who will have left the bullpen with 8 outs. It's a whole lot up of the pen. Lakeside Bank. It's about time. And Jace Fry comes into this one after a splendid performance by Ronaldo Lopez. He's on for the 26th time. ERA of 182. He did finally end the ball game last night. And a short turnaround for Fry, who is throwing brilliantly out of the pen. Left-handers .068 this year. That curveball has neutralized them.
He'll face the left-hander Mazara first. And strike 1. Nomar Mazara, a base hit to right in the 5th. A couple of ground outs in the 1st and the 4th, respectively. A little conversation about the pine tar.
Get a little testy here in the heat.
Yeah, it takes away both your body's water level and your patience.
Yes.
1-1. We've seen some odd stuff in this series.
It has been that.
Yeah, time to go somewhere else.
It'll be on to the city of Chile.
Cincinnati.
Coming up after this one.
Up the middle off of Fry. Jace recovers and throws it on to first for out number 2. You mentioned Jace Fry, a much different pitcher this year. And he mentioned something when we talked to him about the equipment in the majors.
I just think every big league ball you grab is so perfect. It's just like perfect, you know, circle, and laces are tight, but the cover's kind of slick a little bit. It's got a little chalky feel to it, and you have to practice with them before you can really get comfortable with your release point, and you know, trusting that it's not going to pop out of your hand and, you know, fly off the plate different directions. And, you know, getting off season with the big league balls this last year was actually very beneficial.
So that's one of the changes for Jace Fry, who's getting looked at by both his manager Rick Renteria and the trainer Herm Schneider after the comebacker.
Pretty hard to defend yourself from the knee down. And that one got him. But he stayed right with it and got the out. Tried to avoid it, but couldn't.
He's got a future at the Martha Graham Dancing School.
Went up as high as he could get up.
That was the can't.
Which wasn't that high, no.
2 down for Profar, who takes strike 1. Chase Fry is one of those guys this season. When he comes out of the bullpen, you feel like you're going to get out of whatever it is.
He's been that good.
And whatever it was this time was absolutely nothing. It's a 1-2-3 inning, tandemed by Lopez and Fry. And that was out number 3, except number 57 thought it was out number 2. He started walking back toward the mound and then said, oh, whoop, sorry.
Well, that can happen because he got hit, so it was kind of lost in the translation, but only 3 of them here.
And now you got Matt Davidson the other night, who gets a strikeout and is so pumped about it. He starts running, and it's, whoa,
I'm a pitcher. Now. Yeah, you got to walk off the mound slowly and reflect in the glory.
So you've got a pitcher who wants to stay on the mound and doesn't know how many outs there are, and a position player who's so jazzed about his strikeout that he turns into Usain Bolt for a moment.
And Matt Moore comes into the ball game. Starter for a long time, now laboring out of the pen. This is unusual for him. Last year with San Francisco, he had 1 appearance out of the bullpen. That was the only appearance he had had in a good 5 years.
Into left field by Moncada. And 1 gone here in the 8th. Now his former team, Matt Moore, the Tampa Bay Rays, as you see the substitute Carlos Tosi in right field. His former team, the Tampa Bay Rays, is using the opener now. They're using the reliever to start games. So now Moore, the former starter for Tampa Bay, comes to Texas, and he's an actual reliever.
He is that only because it was a real tough go for him as a starter. This year, when you look at these numbers, they're scary. 1-5 ERA over 7.5. This is 5th time out of the bullpen. But in 12 starts, he really struggled. 93 hits in 62 1/3 innings.
That's a huge number.
That is a whopping number of hits.
One of the positives to pull from this game, other than the score, is that the Sox battered left-handed pitching today. That had been a struggle this year, while last season the Sox had a couple of the best hitters against left-handers in Major League Baseball.
And the struggles of Cole Hamels at home continued today.
And the pitcher Moore spears that one for round number 2. Come see your Chicago White Sox take on the Kansas City Royals. It's Friday, July 13th, 7:10 p.m. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by the Village of Bedford Park. Bring your business home with the Village of Bedford Park and win big. Get your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. 2 down for Engel, who's looked very good at the plate in this series. He's just ready to go to Cincinnati.
He might not want to leave Dallas.
One ball, 1 strike on Engel. You gonna miss this place when it's gone in 2020? I kind of like it. I like the surroundings. I like the way it looks.
No, I'm not going to miss this place.
You're so sentimental.
Yes, but I kind of like domes, retractable domes especially. One where you can grow the grass on the field, which is kind of nice, but On a day like today, in triple digits, you can close it up, feel climate controlled, and eat your hot dog in peace.
Andrews at shortstop does get Engel. 1-2-3 inning. Did you say eat your hot dog in peace? This is an upgrade. Just meat, carved meat.
Nice job, Art Chuck, on the brisket identification.
Yeah. Chuck will ID some meat. That's for sure. Rougned Odor leads off in the 8th and takes ball number 1. We're without Chuck for a while at the ballpark. This long road trip, we won't have him reporting for us for the next week or so. We miss him. A good man, that Chuck Garfien.
Yes, he is. Done some great sideline reports, and especially that interview with Southpaw. I mean, we're talking in-depth stuff.
The Emmy Award submissions deadline had already happened. If it hadn't, Chuck was a slam dunk. Best interview with a mascot 2018. That is up high to Rougned Odor, who's been on base all 3 times. That's a strike. 3-1. There was somebody at the ballpark last night with a tattoo of the scene of Rougned Odor punching
Jose Bautista.
Jose Bautista.
Yeah. He had it covering his whole arm, which, I mean, it's a nice sentiment at all.
Is it?
If it's not a drawing, he's probably going to regret that somewhere down the line, I think.
I believe we have it for you. Yep, there it is. Look at that. Beautifully done. Great artwork. Why would you get that? Why wouldn't you? Is the actual question. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Nice idea.
Okay, so if there was one instance in baseball history that you could get tattooed on you, if you were into that sort of thing, what would it be?
Well, let's see. There have been so many momentous occasions. The signing of my first professional contract would be a good one.
On your arm?
No, I mean,
you sitting there at a desk signing your contract?
it was at my dining room table. Yes, that would be momentous.
Okay.
That and the multitude of times I was either traded or let go as a free agent.
Into right field. Avi turns tail. It's over his head. It's a base hit. Runners at the corners.
It's a very hard hit single. And Rue with his second hit. This one absolutely crushed. It's so hard. Avi played it real well. He identified that he wasn't going to be able to make the play, so he didn't get trapped too close to the wall, and the ball bounded right back to him. Rue can hardly hit it much harder than this. And Avi right there to get it back in.
So looks like that's going to be all for Fry. 2/3 of an inning, a walk and a hit. And with Gallo coming up, it's Xavier Cedeno who's called upon out of that Sox bullpen, which has a mother load of left-handers. Another one coming in. Sox up 6.
And it is Xavier Cedeno who's been pretty close to untouchable. Doesn't have an ERA. This is the 12th time out. 13 strikeouts, 9 1/3. He's going to have to work his magic here. It's 2 on, nobody out in the 8th inning. We talked about the danger of this Rangers lineup. They've got thunder up and down. Been largely held in check today. Ronaldo Lopez going 6 1/3, giving up 2 runs on 7 hits with 3 walks, 1 of them intentional, 6 strikeouts in a brilliant performance.
It's up to the bullpen now, and Ricky Renteria, who has been prone to mix and match in these sorts of situations, goes lefty-lefty, Cedeno and Gallo. And Joey Gallo goes after the first pitch and deposits it in right field. Ball gets away as Engel and Garcia converged. Gallo's booking it for third. 2 runs are in, and it's 8-4.
Well, we've seen a lot of miscommunication in the Sox outfield, and there's another example of it. Probably going to be a base hit, and we'll see who's charged with an error. They're going to give him a triple. Yikes.
That is shocking.
Well, seeing as both players could have played the ball, and neither wound up playing it. So 2 runs scored. This one getting a whole lot less comfortable.
Kiner Falefa the batter. And there's ball 1. So those runs charged to Jace Fry. Cedeno sends in a strike. Cedeno unscored upon in his 11 outings before this one. Up high, 2-1.
With a very tired pen, this becomes a precarious situation. You got nobody out. You got the 5th run 90 feet away.
Right now, you trade this out for this run.
Absolutely.
And that's what will happen. Sanchez to first. The Rangers make it a 3-run game on the ground out from Kiner Falefa. For now, the first earned run against Cedeno in a Sox uniform.
The center fielder, Delano DeShields.
Three in, 1 out. DeShields the batter. And suddenly it looks like Joakim Soria is going to be pressed into duty this afternoon. Ball 1 to DeShields, who walked in a run in the 4th.
What we haven't seen is the DeShields bunts. He's fully capable of doing that. With that in mind, Matt Davidson is in shallow at first base. And there is Soria.
He's been outstanding in the closer spot for the Sox.
Yes, he has. He's going to have to be again today, it seems.
Well, you'd imagine Cedeno will go as long as he can here in the 8th to try and set it up for Soria. A lot of left-handers in this lineup, including the next batter, Choo. Down low, 3 balls and a strike, and free base runners are the opposite of what you want right now. (3-1) in the dirt. Rangers threatening, speed on at first. Choo coming up with his 41-game on-base streak on the line.
He essentially has hit some fly balls to Adam Engel with 1 strikeout mixed in between. 3 times he lifted fly balls harmlessly to center field.
Lefty this time around. Choo takes ball one, and he has been the most valuable position player by 1 win, according to Fangraphs WAR this year at 2.5. Choo with a marvelous season at age 35. 1-0 with Andrus coming next. Cedeno has been easy for Ricky Renteria to turn to in key situations since he's come up from AAA. He has been just outstanding, unscored upon until today, and now it's a matter of minimizing the damage in a suddenly close game. That is a strike called on Choo.
He's a little unhappy with that. In fact, he's very unhappy with it. Mark Ripperger hearing it. Choo thought it was upstairs out of the zone.
Yeah, he was right, but Cedeno thanks Mark Ripperger and tries to strike out Choo.
The Texas pen up and going, and we've seen it each game so far. Tony Barnett.
Death taxes and Tony Barnett in this series.
He's been ever present.
2-2 for Choo. Fouled away. Two balls, 2 strikes. That's down low. 3-2 on Choo with DeShields and his great speed at first. Suddenly the tying run is on deck. And there he is, number 1 in your program, Elvis Andrus. Three and 2. Ball 4. That was close, and he didn't get it. Choo walks. The on-base streak is to 42. And with 1 out, it's back to the bullpen.
That was a strike.
Yes.
Did not get the call. 1 earlier was a ball, and he got that call, so it evened out. Choo winds up aboard. And Ricky Renteria is going to go to Soria. So as Soria comes in, we'll step out. Be back after these messages. And this is going to be a tough one to nail down. Joakim Soria comes into this one on for the 32nd time, looking for save number 12. He'll have to go a ways to get it. There you look at some very impressive numbers. He inherits a couple of men on, facing the tying run.
Elvis Andrus, the batter. Soria 13 straight scoreless appearances, 12 2/3. 7 straight converted save chances. Andrus after the first pitch skies it to center field and Engel. And it is going to be a pinch hitter, Adrian Beltre. The crowd roars Rangers with the announcement.
One of the real fan favorites on this team, has been for a long time. And now he represents a tying run.
466 career home runs for Adrian Beltre. DeShields at second, Choo at first. Jurickson Profar is next.
Beltre, his 2 hits, extra bases in 8 at-bats against Soria.
Soria loves changing up the timing on hitters.
He'll quick pitch him if they're not ready.
Doesn't do this very often. Normally he's starting. Beltre.
Yeah. As a pinch hitter, not much.
One. Way out in front, 1-2.
That time for Beltre, he pretty much determined if it stayed in the park, he was going to be swinging, because that ball was 1.5 feet outside.
Throw it again.
I would like to see him look at another one. Yes, I would throw it again, see how far that outside extends.
1-2. It's outside with a fastball. Former Ranger Soria against the 39-year-old veteran Adrian Beltre. Two balls and 2 strikes. Downstairs, Soria thought he had him, 3-2. Three home in the inning already. Runners will go on 3-2, and Soria, knowing that, pivots to look at DeShields. Called strike 3 on the corner. Beltre went limp. The rally did too, and Joakim Soria breaks it over the inside edge along with the hearts of the Rangers. Well, we've got something to calm your heart down if it was racing during that Rangers rally. It's just a 2-foot-long taco, so that'll do it. Call your cardiologist, please. It has literally everything on it.
Got some jalapeno on it.
Yeah. Sour cream.
Can give you a touch of heartburn.
That will wake you up better than any alarm clock. So the Sox maintain the lead. It's 8-5. It was dicey, but the rally's over, and Tim Anderson discards his bat after going after the first pitch for out number 1.
Got some changes in the infield.
Profar to first, Beltre to third.
think Gallo goes to right field. And you and I stay here.
That's very nice to see. Gallo's gonna. They've decided to put him in left. Rua moves from left to right. Profar from third to first. And Beltre stays in the game, so the veterans clause only gets him 8 innings off or so.
Very productive day for Avi. Probably thinking about hitting the ball out of the ballpark for the cycle.
That's all he needs. One. Hit well left field. Gallo is back, and that rings off the wall. Can Avi make his way all the way around? Gallo's not there yet. Avi's going to slow into second base.
He hit it hard enough, just not high enough. And I think he might have hurt himself.
I think so too.
Because Nick Capra's going out. He wants to talk with him. One of those days where hopefully it's a cramp just from loss of fluid. And we'll watch him and see when he breaks it down. Right here he's thinking about 3 bases, but then decides to pull up. And Nick Capra went out to have a word with him, but apparently he is okay.
So no cycle, but 3 extra base hits for Avisail Garcia. He says, no, don't take me out. I'm fine. The most likely option who is on the bench to start the game, Charlie Tilson, is already in now because of the injury to Leury Garcia, who jammed a finger. So after they decide to bypass Abreu, Matt Davidson, who's hit the ball well today, he's 2 for 4. That was the first walk for a Sox batter today. Texas in the home ninth will have Profar, Odor, and Rua. All guys with some power. So that run at second base and Abreu's at first as well could become important. Davidson punches it into center field. Avi around third to Shields into third, and he hits Abreu with the ball. It's 9-5. The Sox can't dodge the ball, and the Rangers can't dodge the Sox. A 4-run lead.
I think it caught him right in the back of the right elbow. And hopefully Jose's okay. The throw might have beaten him, except for that. And it looked like he did turn around and allow the ball to hit him. Now thinking maybe he could take one in the back, which would feel a whole lot better than on the right elbow. Well, a blocker.
There's a bunt from Charlie Tilson. That gets a run home. The Sox are in double figures, and a much needed cushion of a 5-run lead. Charlie gets the job done.
Good timing on this one. It really is a safety squeeze. And Jose scores after he sees the bunt in a good spot. And so Moore's given up a couple here in the ninth. Now it's a little more comfortable.
Kevin Smith checked it up. So in every game in this series, somebody's gotten to 10 runs.
I have a feeling Kevin's going to sleep pretty well tonight. He's gone a long way. There have been a few changes of pitchers, but the catcher goes the distance. And with that gear on, the uniform now probably weighs about 30 pounds.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how much weight he lost over the course of this game.
You can certainly lose 10 pounds.
You think?
Yeah, I've done it in St. Louis on July 4th many years ago. That artificial surface, temperatures 135, 140 degrees off the surface. Yeah, it wasn't pleasant.
Feel like a lobster in a pot.
It was really warm. You could sit in the dugout and see the ripples of the heat coming off the artificial surface.
Those were the days when you thought AstroTurf was the greatest invention you could possibly imagine. Back to the mound. Moore slaps at it, recovers, and does get the out. But the Sox nab 2 runs at a crucial time to try and put this thing away. Raid Field space features batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and skill instruction for Chicago White Sox Training Academy coaches. While you're there, check out the latest Xfinity technology, including the X1 platform.
Just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Lite hold-through moment, and it's a day of Avi Garcia, and a busy day it was. Avi just crushed the ball today. 4 for 5, couple of doubles, a triple. He scored 3 runs. He drove in 1 run. And all things considered, a very eventful Texas afternoon. That's when he was going after the cycle, but didn't hit it quite high enough. And Avi stays in the game.
His 6th 4-hit game of his career. He did have the 1 5-hit game last year. He was 5 for 5 against the Tigers, his former team, with a home run and 7 RBIs. This is still a save situation for Joakim Soria. He came in a 3-run game, so that holds as you decide whether or not it's a save spot. Very close, 2-1. How about 3 quick outs? Don't even give them the hope, the glimmer of a hope, the flicker of a glimmer of a hope.
A scintilla of a hope.
0. 2-2 on Profar. Sox will be off to Cincinnati. 3 games at 6:10. We'll be in the Eastern time zone, but you'll still be at home if you are at home, or you may be in Canada. As we mentioned, happy Canada Day to those of you celebrating. To first and Davidson, who says, Joakim, no need. 1 out. So that upcoming schedule: 3 in Cincinnati, 4 in Houston.
Always pleasant to play the Astros in Houston and deal with that starting rotation. Charlie Morton finally lost one today. They had a tough time with Tampa Bay.
Rays, the crafty Rays. Well, Blake Snell started that game today. He went 7 1/3, 1 earned run, a 2.24 ERA. He's an all-star.
No, he's been wonderful. 11 wins.
We both loved his stuff when we saw Tampa earlier this year, and he's just rumbled down the track. By the way, Charlie Morton got beat 6 2/3, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. Sorry about it.
Still throwing well.
One ball, one strike. Soria to Odor. And that's very close. This will be all for the Sox and Rangers this year. They'll be seeing Houston before we do. Tuesday and Wednesday here in Arlington. Into center and down. This team will not stop. 4 times on base for Rougned Odor. 5 times, I should say. Fox in the 5th says 1B5, Jason. Infield single.
3 hits, 2 walks, 2 runs scored, a stolen base, and 1 driven in. Pretty productive day for Odor.
One on, one out, and a strike call to Ryan Rua, who may not agree, considering he shook his head and cringed. Served into left and down.
That's 3 hits for Rua, who came in at 170, and that will improve drastically. So the 2 runs scored in the 9th by our Sox, looking a whole lot better right now.
Yeah, you got Gallo, who can rampage through a baseball with the best of them. 20 home runs. Soria trying to quiet this rally. He's got strike 1. The Gallo shift is on. Sanchez, the lone man to the left of second base. You cannot blame Kevin Smith for 1 lapse today, considering what he's been through.
Been a very long day. Looks like might have been a change of jersey for him. And a few times this year, opponents have played 4 outfielders against Gallo.
Big rip at 93. He was behind it 1 and 2. Yeah, Justin Smoke has seen that. Gallo's seen it. There's no reason not to if he's going to hit it there.
Nope.
There's always the option to, you know, hit it somewhere else. Baseball is going to talk about outlawing shifts. You might as well talk about outlawing players who don't improve as well or change over the course of their career. 1-2. It's up high, 2-2. Odor and Rua on with base hits. Soria a long outing. He got the last 2 outs of the 8th. And here he has out number 2 in the 9th. Gallo sent away.
Get that fastball up, and if you do that, Gallo gives you no problems. If you don't, he can hit it a mile.
Two down, Sox 1 out away from getting the finale from the Rangers and avoiding the sweep. He drops down for strike 1. One strike left for the Rangers. Sox out hitting Texas today 14-11. 10-5 in the run column. Out number 27 is there. Strike 3. Soria once again cinches up a victory, and the Sox win 10-5.
Long way to go, and it was Avi Day here in Arlington, Texas. Ronaldo Lopez with a big win, and he deserved it. 6 1/3, just 2 runs on 7 hits. Jace Fry, probably a little fatigued after working last night, gave up a couple of runs. Cedeno, his first run of the year, given up. But at the end, Soria was equal to